877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Wow, it almost feels like we've had a weekend without halftime here. Welcome back here. We're doing radio. We're doing halftime. We're doing a sports talk show. It's not the middle of the day for baseball today. Morning, Matt Jones.
Yes,
Matt Jones,
sir.
You're looking pretty today. How'd you pull that off?
Man, I do like it when you start off with a lie. It just sets everything. We're smooth, just able to go into it. Some good basketball. I wish I could say some good baseball for the Razorbacks. They kind of Amber Hearded the bed a little bit, but I think that was kind of planned. They had a dry cleaning deal. They didn't have to worry about those games, but the playoff games they are worrying about. Boston took control like you knew they would. That series to me is over, and then it's a coin flip with Dallas and Minnesota. So we still got some basketball left.
You even going to get the gentleman's sweep that you thought you'd get? Are they going to get
Tyrese Halliburton might be hurt. If
Okay.
he's hurt, well,
Then-
Indiana should have won that first one. But you know what happened with Indiana and the Knicks, Phil? That series where the Knicks had like 3 guys get hurt. That's kind of what's going on. Indy's had like 2 guys get hurt. It'd be interesting to see. They get to go back home. And that pace they run, Boston's not scared to run with them. That first game, Boston just went right into them. They didn't even try to change the game plan. They just beat them at their own thing. So I just think they're too talented, Phil. Like if you go top to bottom, 1 through 5, Pikal, I can't say his name, Pikal Sekim, like their power forward for Indy, he could play for Boston. He could play for anybody. He used to play for Toronto when they won the championship. He's a absolute stud. Other than that, Boston's got them licked pretty much in every position.
I've missed you the last couple of days, Matt. I was calling baseball. It was all fun and everything, but would have liked to see better outcome. Would have liked to see maybe more than the outcome, just playing better baseball. Certainly yesterday, it wasn't a really pretty game, but you find a way to make yourself pretty, and I'm happy to be back with you here today.
Pascal.
Okay.
There we go, Pascal.
Well, this is like a little standalone show because we've got a 3-day weekend coming up. No shows on Monday, except national programming on ESPN Arkansas. This one we'll find out what the Fayetteville Regional is going to look like. And I guess Sunday, I don't remember the time, but Sunday is when the national seeds are released. And I still don't think anything that happened in Hoover is going to affect Arkansas standing as far as being a top 8. It's just you're probably looking at being more along the lines of a 4 to a 6. I guess it depends on what happens.
We lost 4 of our last 5 games.
Yeah, lost 4 of the last
Kinda
5, 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Even if you say that these games didn't really matter very much, because truthfully, it's like you win a division in the SEC, you're going to be top 8. That's just the way that it is. And I'll give you a throwaway game, which is what I felt like last Saturday was. The game that really didn't have any bearing on the standings or the seeding. It was just trying to win a series and not trying to go, not putting absolutely everything you had into it. But I think going into Hoover, you just wanted to see at least better baseball. Good games played, not so sloppy in the field, some sloppy pitching here and there, and the story of the runners continuously being left on base at times too. But you know what? I can look at this as a positive. There's a couple of positives that go along with this. They're home. They're home now. They don't have to worry about a darn thing. Nothing that happened in Hoover affects their standing moving forward. So, I don't really feel like, they didn't play like there was pressure on them. You know how sometimes pressure can expose you for your best or your worst sometimes. And I felt like the teams that Arkansas played, well, I don't know if Kentucky necessarily had a lot to play for yesterday. They just played a really good game. I think what they had was they were feeling embarrassed from getting embarrassed the day before, 11-0, and they played like a team that came out angry. And Arkansas came out like a team that, it just wasn't used to playing in the morning and didn't necessarily have that much to play for. And, so now you get some days off. You realize they haven't played games, even if you count the preseason scrimmages, the inter-squad scrimmages. They've played games like every weekend since the last weekend of January. So, we could look at this as a positive. Well, there are other teams that are going to be national seed. I think Tennessee may end up winning this tournament. they're going to be going and going out and playing and expounding energy and all of that, and the Hogs can rest. See, Matt, I've drawn it into a positive now.
I don't know. I had a coach tell us, he said, anytime they're keeping score, we're trying to win. We're going to go out there and compete.
That's how I've always felt.
Yeah, so we have to, and I get what you're saying, Phil, but I don't like what I've seen out of the Hogs the last 2 weeks. Like, if you just talk about what and you see a lot more than I do, so I defer to you. But I see a team limping in. I see a team just trying to keep their head above water, grasping at straws almost while they're drowning. I don't see it, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't know why you would ever bat Kendall Diggs number one in the lineup. You start watching some things, unless you just want to get him bats. You're like, hey, man, let's just get you as much bats as we can. So I don't know. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope the Hogs come together and get it going. We'll see what the draw is. We'll see what teams come in.
Well, you want to feel that you're doing well what you do best. And what this team has done best throughout the year is pitch. But that has kind of changed a bit over the last 2-3 weeks. I think that's kind of what you're pointing at.
Yeah.
And I'd feel like I can always point to the 2022 team that wasn't playing good baseball going into the national tournament, just like this. Lost a series on the road and then went 2-out in Hoover, and then ended up winning this amazingly offensive regional in Stillwater. But what that team could do was score some runs. And it just they didn't get it going at all for the last couple of weeks, and pitching was also a bit of an issue then, and they happened to be put in a regional where it just kind of worked to their advantage that they could slug the ball a little bit, and they ended up out slugging Oklahoma State. What this team right now needs is they need their pitchers to get back to what they've been doing throughout most of the year. Now, I still don't think that anything that happened the last 2 games as far as the plan of who you're pitching is representative of what you see in a regional. But that still doesn't excuse sloppiness in the field, sloppiness on the bases, and some of those little things that they were good at before, which is, making the routine play, the occasional spectacular play, throwing strikes, keeping the ball in the park. These were things that beat Arkansas in Hoover. A lot of home runs against them, errors in the field, other plays that didn't get made that didn't go, that aren't errors, but they're still plays you should make. It was kind of like the reverse formula for how they were division champions. It's kind of how they lost the last 2 games. So, now it's a week before and a week until the next ball game, and what this does, I can throw another positive out there. I get a chance today's my son's 12th birthday. I actually get to be with him for his 12th birthday.
Happy birthday.
He was not expecting it either. So we woke up this morning and he's at his mom's place, and I went and I picked him up for school. He had no idea. So that was a nice little present for him. I felt like it was a present for me. Would I have liked to seen the Razorbacks win yesterday? Absolutely. I would like to be calling a game today at 3 o'clock. But it's actually really good that I can be with Gabriel for his birthday, because that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, happy birthday, Gabe. Is he gonna? Will he watch some of the games with you? Does he get down with the baseball, or is he's got?
He'll get down with the baseball for about how long do you think you can keep a 12-year-old's attention on things these? Even a kid who likes baseball, how long can you keep his attention on it? 15 minutes?
Yeah.
25 minutes?
2.5 hour game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying. We've done really well at cutting into some of the time of game. If we could get it to maybe 30, 45 minutes, we'll keep the 12-year-old's attention on baseball for certain.
This offensive lineup, it's reminded me a little bit of the offensive lineup for the Razorbacks and the football team. You look out there, you're like, well, who scares you? Who do we have to really worry about? Aloy, we have about 2 or 3 hitters, but we don't have the depth. I don't know. We have it's like, man, when you get to our 6th guy or 7th guy, it's like, well, those are easy outs. And then even at the top of your lineup, we just cannot be. We're not a consistently good enough hitting team, I think, to really do anything.
Well, I mean, you don't have a consistent lineup in terms of who you want to put out there. Even lefty righty things are changing a little bit. Who's your left fielder? Who's your leadoff batter? Who can you count on in the middle of the batting order? Like, if they're going to win a regional next weekend, somebody's got to
step up.
Somebody 4 through 6 in the batting order has to drive in runs.
Superstars got to play like superstars. You're seeing this in the NBA playoffs. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. And then your other guys, your role players step up. PJ Washington, Daniel Gadford, your other guys have to step up and kind of play a little better if you want a chance to win. Like if you're going to compete, and that's a chance to win a national title. I mean, who else says you don't have to play your best to win a national? You got to play your best to win a national title.
Now, I thought they played well in the first two games against Texas A&M. Just couldn't come up with a big hit in the first game against the Aggies. But the Hogs in those two games played like they had something on the line. Since then, not so much. Now, there is going to be a lot on the line next Friday. And for the remainder of the season, every single game matters more than any other game that they've played this year. So if they were able to play well when there was something on the line, I guess they'll have to find a way to flip the switch. Because there were moments yesterday that it felt a little bit disinterested. And you can't act that way. I think even in a game that really didn't mean anything in the long term, we don't want to look back and say, you know what, the writing was on the wall from what you saw in Hoover. Here's halftime for a Friday. I need the golden hour today, even though, we haven't done the radio show. There was no show yesterday. Matt hosted by himself for an hour on Wednesday. But with all the travel, man, we got back late last night, and I'm looking forward to a golden hour. Really am. We'll have Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen during that third hour. James Teague from the Teague Law Firm, former Razorback pitcher, coming up in about an hour. And in just a moment after we break, we have Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, plus your calls and texts as we go throughout the show today on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Stay with us. Aaron Torres joining halftime right after this.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elson are live at the 2024 SEC Baseball Tournament. Our coverage is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, your Omaha's headquarters, the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Shop on Razorback.com. It doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Kofer's Boat Center. Kofer's huge selection of new boats can be seen on their website, Koffers.com. That's Kophers.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
It's the Memorial Day Hail Sale at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. All across the lot, we've got big savings with some slight hail damage, including brand new Fords. You got the factory discounts, you got the great interest rates, and you got extra savings on top of that.
Yes, me and Trey were talking just a second ago. Trey, what interest rates as low as what right now? 1.9% financing right now on new. You can even go 36 months on some and still get 0% financing. So right now really is the time to buy. We had that small hailstorm run through. Listen, you walk by some of these vehicles and you see literally like little tiny dents and maybe even just a couple that have one or two in it. But you're going to see thousands of dollars in savings and you're going to see awesome interest rates.
All right, come check out the brand new lineup of Fords here at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford and get your best deal right now. The Memorial Day Hail Sale. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsman's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. We work to design an insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter Insurance ranked #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region 5 out of the last 6 years by J.D. Power. Satisfied customers and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I think I'm gonna be sad. I think it's a day. The girl driving me mad is going away. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. But she don't care.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I love how this works with our friend Aaron Torres, who joins us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. He comes on with us just about every Friday during the year, and then I go on with him once a year on the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast to talk about college baseball when we get right up against the NCAA tournament. So it's about that time, isn't it, AT? You do, what, like 50 hits with us, and I'll do one with you? Is that the equation we're going with?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I mean, and, I will tell you guys, a little bit of a bummer. Well, not a bummer, but I'll be traveling the next 2 weeks, Bill. So, one, I will not be on with you guys. But that means you're down to one this year because, by the time I get back, I think the field for Omaha is going to be set. Obviously, I hope the Razorbacks are there. So maybe we will do a second one. But the regional and super regional weekends, I will be away. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm going to have my phone by the pool monitoring every Oregon State, Southern Utah game that you can imagine. But you might only have to do one this year, Phil. So I'm letting you off the hook a little bit easy this year.
Where are vacations this year for you in the summer? Because this is the only time you can do it before like media days of college football and everything starts in a couple months.
No doubt, and I'm grateful because I know even somebody like you don't even get most of June. I always say really about mid-May to mid-July is kind of relaxation time for me. So yeah, we'll be going to Mexico next week. Excited, wife, sister-in-law. We're gonna have a good time. Drink a lot of cold beverages, and then I come back and actually I always do a guys trip to Vegas, and it just so happened that this year, just the way the schedule fell, they basically fall back to back. Now I'll be home for like a day or two in between, but by this time next Friday, I'll be on a beach with a drink in my hand, and by the following Friday, I'll be waking up probably around this time. With probably a drink in my hand as well. So in a casino somewhere.
In the room too, of course. That's just how things work.
And a tiger in the room, and a ticket, and a winning ticket because I bet Arkansas the previous day in that college baseball. I guess it would be the super regional by that point. So yeah,
smart move. Hey, well, how about this? A year from now, we're already going to be talking about it. I guess in the next year, this will be one of the things that dominates over the conversation of college sports. With the settlement from the Power 5 schools yesterday, and it sounds like the kind of strong-arming the lower-level Division I conferences. Next year, once you get into the 2025-2026 college athletics calendar, schools are paying players And
I know.
I mean, look at all the other things going on. We're talking about a former quarterback recruit suing the coach who had recruited him. We're talking about private equity now potentially putting credit in to schools' athletic departments potentially. Now the schools are going to pay the players, man, and everything is changing. Everything is changing, and it's after everything's already changed for the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, yeah, and no doubt. And listen, it's changed so much, and I think we had to get to this point. Now, what I'm curious about is, what is to stop a collective or whatever from Phil Elson, the 5-star quarterback, just because he's making a certain amount of money from the collective bargaining or whatever we're calling it, revenue sharing, I guess is the right way to put it. I don't think it stops schools from overspending on other guys as well. So I'm curious what that looks like. But we had to get here, Phil, and I don't think it's like a shocking thing for me to say that we couldn't just keep going on with collectives basically funding the whole team. That wasn't a sustainable model. I know that at a school like Arkansas, at a school like Ohio State, at Miami, at whatever, you're fortunate enough to have some high-level boosters that want to help support the school. But when we're talking about so many football players and we're talking about the money that was coming in for basketball this offseason, there's just only so much money to go around. And I know sometimes you think it's a never-ending pit, but again, even at the biggest schools, it isn't. And so now some of the onus, quote unquote, is off the boosters. And I think we've already been heading towards a professional model. I think it's only going to continue. And I think, a lot of the stuff, some of the perks, some of the facility stuff, blah, 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 it might go to the wayside to help the players, but that's the world we live in. This is where we were headed. And it's ultimately best for everybody in college sports.
Well, we continue to wait on finishing touches on Arkansas men's basketball roster. It's been a couple weeks. Still haven't heard anything from DJ Wagner. I think Kentucky's still waiting too. And it's this, like any move that Arkansas makes, you're always looking at what Kentucky does too. And the programs will be tied together because of the last couple of months, really. But we're still waiting because I think what do you got 8 players right now or 7 players, and you're still waiting for another 2.
No, yeah, I still think DJ Wagner. I understand. I don't know if it's trepidation as much as just the gift pointing at the clock, waiting for this to all happen. I understand whatever emotion it is that you just want this done. I still think it's going to be Arkansas, and it's for a few reasons. Most of the obvious ones, the relationship with both, the family's relationship, not just, and people forget, and I'm sure you talked about it, but, it's not just Calipari, it's Kenny Payne, too, the 50-year relationship at this point, 40-year relationship with DJ Wagner's grandfather, Milt. They were teammates at Louisville. So I think it's going to get done. I've said consistently, and I probably even said it on this show last week when we were even on DJ Wagner Watch last week, is that he's just never been the type of kid that, does a million interviews, and I keep saying it, but he's not the kid that does the Joe Tipton, here's my top 10, then here's my top 3, then here's my top 2, then I'll make my announcement at 5 p.m. on YouTube. Like, that's just not how he's ever operated. And so I think it gets done. Obviously, I think it has to. And then really quickly, I'm just curious where Cal goes from there. As I know that he wants to keep a slimmer rotation of, I guess, what he believes to be impact players. But I do still think you got to find some guys in the back end of the portal, maybe some high school recruits, I guess, in theory. Because obviously, you can't go into it with just 8 players. You can't even run a full practice at that point. So I still think there are guys in the portal that would love to come to Arkansas, be a part of that program, play in the SEC, play for a Hall of Fame coach. But I am curious how he fills out at least scholarships 9 and 10, and we'll see if he gets to 11, 12, 13, et cetera.
So with the change in college sports, and you already have NIL payments, but you're going to get to a place where players are paid by the school through this revenue sharing, and there can still be third-party NIL deals that go along with this. Now, I think you even brought it up when we talked to you last week or the week before. One of the teams in the G League that has been designed for high school players to step in there, I think the Ignite, is folding. These things they have to go hand in hand. You know, are we going to get to a place where there might be a little more of an influx of the younger, I guess the word would be more highly talented players coming in rather than looking to get to the lower levels of the pros immediately after high school? Do you think that'll happen?
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, and I think that we're already seeing it now, even with the NIL as it is, where, you know, usually this time of year, Phil, the NBA draft deadline is next week. It's May 29th, Wednesday, May 29th, where if you want to play college basketball next year to be NCAA eligible, you have to remove your name from the NBA draft by May 29th, which is next Wednesday. And it's weird because it's usually this big thing where there's a million kids and it could swing 10, 12, 15 teams. And this year it feels like there's a few. Mark Sears is part of that, whatever. But it's not as many as I seem to remember. And I just think it's because, you know, the kids that are on the fence can just say, I'm going to come back and play college basketball. I'm going to get NIL at, you know, like as an example, like a Jonas Adu. I think, you know, 3-4 years ago, third-year guy, kind of second-team All-SEC, whatever he was, he probably just sits there and says, you know what, I got to go make some money somewhere. John L. Davis, I have my degree. I'm just going to go make some money. And now it's like with NIL, it's allowed these guys to come back. So I think we're already seeing it. And I think it's only going to continue. By the way, on the football side, you know, there were a lot of guys, especially at the quarterback position, that, you know, I could be a 4th, 5th round pick, but you know, I'm going to make more money playing at Ohio State or playing at fill-in-the-blank school, whatever, if I just come back. So I think we're already seeing the repercussions, and I do think that is an unintended positive of the NIL era, is I think it's keeping a lot of kids in college that maybe would have considered going pro otherwise. And so, you know, it's fascinating how all these things have both positive and negative unintended consequences, but that's one, and now that the schools are more involved, I actually don't expect that to slow down anytime soon.
Aaron, give me 3 guys that went to the G League and that are having success in the NBA. And I mean, really, like all-star type of success. Because I can't think, I mean, Scoot Henderson went to Portland. I know it's his rookie year, but give me 3 guys that have went to the G League, chose that route. Dante Exum, did he go to Australia and then kind of mess around and come back? But give me 3 guys.
Well, they don't exist, but, you know, I don't know it's because the program was a failure. You know, it's funny. The guy who was running the program the last few years, Jason Hart, has since been hired as an assistant on Mark Pope's staff at Kentucky, and I actually think he did a good job with the program. Now, the program started, I think, in 2020 during COVID, so, you know, there's chances that those guys will develop. So, like a Jalen Green, who's playing for the Rockets, Scoot Henderson, who you referenced, Matt, but they don't exist. And what I think it does speak to is, and this is going to sound weird, I think that, you know, listen, there's different rules in the NBA and there's benefits to going pro younger. But I think for years we have undervalued how well college actually develops players for the pros. And I think the NFL gets that, but I think the NBA has decided that college is evil and this and that. And it's like, listen, if you go to Duke or Arkansas or Kentucky or UConn or any of these high-level programs, you're getting first class, you know, nutrition, first class travel. I mean, listen, think about how much the travel conversation has come up with the WNBA, where Caitlin Clark probably hasn't flown commercial for probably 4 years at Iowa. Now she's flying commercial in the WNBA. So I bring it up because I think we undersold the value of college basketball from that perspective. Nutritionist, masseuse, meal planning, whatever, blah, 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 weight training, as opposed to going to play in Greensboro, North Carolina, in front of a gym of 1,100 people for a 24-year-old coach that's trying to get to the NBA himself. So, yeah, you know, the program is over. I think it's I mean, I can't say if it's for the best or not, but I just think that even when the program was going on, I said it at the time, I said it didn't make sense. It wasn't going to make money. And if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. But I also said I think we're undervaluing a lot of the things that college does that it doesn't get credit for, the stuff that we just talked about.
You know, one thing that I didn't see reading about this settlement, and if we think that college sports is about to get to a place where, you know, it's a little more settled and not so chaotic. I don't know if that's necessarily the truth yet, because
I agree.
this is all monetary stuff, and if we're paying the athletes, a share of the revenue, they're being treated differently than other students on campus. So in this case, I can see where you could potentially find a way, maybe, to limit the number of transfers without sitting. And that doesn't go along with this. I didn't read anything about that in this settlement. This is all just monetary. It's not about freedom of movement to go play. That's a thing that causes chaos as far as
No doubt.
the rosters are concerned. And I guess that's something that's got to be addressed too. I just don't think it's part of this settlement.
No, and it gets to an interesting point where, we keep talking about, I keep seeing these articles about unionization and, collective bargaining and players being employees. Okay, well, employees have certain, rights or whatever, but they have certain responsibilities as well. And whenever anyone praises, Dartmouth wants to unionize, it's like, okay, so what's going to happen when that dude averages 3.9 points per game and the coach knows they can get somebody better? Is John Calipari allowed to walk into a locker room like the NFL and say, or Sam Pittman and say, hey, give me your playbook, it's over? And I think those are still a lot of the questions that remain unanswered, Phil, is, the transfer portal element of it, the employee element of it, where it's like, again, can you cut players? Can you fire players? I know that stuff is sort of happening anyway, where you kind of process kids out, but it's a little bit more under the radar. But can you just say, hey, are we going to have, like in the NFL, we have cut down day? Is there just going to be, is portal season now going to be cut season where, again, Sam Pittman says, hand me your playbook? And so I just bring it up because I think to get to something a little bit more stable, yesterday was important, but I also think there's still a ton of unanswered questions that I don't think yesterday is the end of something. I think it's probably, we're certainly further along than we were 6 months ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago when NIL came to play. But to your point, Phil, there's still a ton of questions that, frankly, not only we want answered, they need to be answered to get some sort of stability, hopefully, in this thing we're doing.
AT, let's leave it there. Hope you have a great trip to both Mexico and Vegas, and we'll look forward to revisiting with you in a few weeks.
All right, I'll talk to you when the draw comes out at some point next week. I don't leave till Thursday, so we got plenty of time to break down that field of 64, all 64 teams, every single one. I'm relying on you, Phil.
Very good. I'll try to do my best, Dick Vitale, for you. Try to do my absolute best. It's Aaron Torres with us from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. He joins us most Fridays here on Halftime. 877-377-6963. If you want to get with us with a call and a text, we are right up against the break, and we'll be back with Halftime in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Promise you'll never be alone. Touch is like a tourist. You know when you are home. It's not that I'm a purist. It's just I'd rather be alone.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All our callers join us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. We appreciate Bill and Harrison. He called during our talk with Aaron Torres. We had to hit the break, Bill, so thanks for holding. What's going on today, Bill? How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, and thanks for taking my call. And I very much enjoyed the discussion about the basketball and how it affects the University of Arkansas. But, yeah, I kind of got left in a cloud of dust because when I called in, we were talking about baseball. And
well, we can do that now.
Point,
that's okay.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to do. Obviously, this time of year, that's everybody's favorite sport. And everybody's got high hopes for these guys, and I think it's well-deserved and well-earned. But a few things that, and some points that you made earlier in your discussion, seems like we go out there and establish that we are the team to beat, even in the SEC West, where that's the toughest place to have the team to beat in the nation, in my opinion. And we get down to this last 2 or 3 series in the conference, and then the conference tournament. And by then we've established that we're going to be hosting the regional, or we're going to be top 5, we're going to be top 8, year after year after year. But then it seems like kind of, and nothing against Dave Van Horn, I think he's one of the greatest baseball minds ever as a coach, but it seems like maybe we start overthinking the postseason, and we break away from what got us there so early in the season, because let's admit it, a month ago we were talking about we were going to be hosting, we were going to be a team to beat at the national level in the College World Series. And then we have stumbled for the last 2 weeks, the last 2 or 3 series, and it seems like it's kind of this, well, we're already in, so let's play it safe. And you guys know full well, baseball is a game that of statistics. You look at those batters that are on a streak, and they will tell you that baseball starts to looking like a grapefruit, that they start seeing that rotation, that end of their bat becomes like an extension of their body, and they just get in this zone. And it seems like we don't let them go 100% the last 2 weeks of the season, and then the postseason, we lose our mojo, and it's not like flipping a switch and getting it back.
Well, Bill, I'll cut in here for a moment, Bill. I don't think that they played like they didn't have anything to play for the last 3 weeks, because they had a division championship and potentially an SEC regular season title to play for. What I think I saw the last 3 games potentially is that they felt these last 3 games there wasn't anything to play for outside of maybe trying to play well and maybe winning a game, and it didn't go in that direction. But up until that, up until last Friday, I didn't feel like they were taking their foot off the pedal, so to speak, or holding anybody back necessarily. Maybe in the way that they handle Hagen Smith in certain cases. Instead of throwing him 7 innings, they'd throw him 6. But I think a lot of this is that we're independent. We're looking at this independently as this is a Razorback problem. They actually played their 3 best opponents of the year in the last 3 weekends: A&M, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. That's 2 top 8 national seeds and another team that very well might be hosting in the postseason. So, and you want to win those games, don't get me wrong, because those are the caliber teams that you play either in a super regional or in the College World Series. But let's not make it out like they were just playing against ghosts, because those were really, really good teams that they played against. I wouldn't be surprised for Kentucky and A&M to be amongst the last 8 standing, and Mississippi State to have a shot at it too. But I don't really think that it was a matter of them taking their eye off the ball or just kind of taking it easy because they didn't think there was anything to play for. Because they were playing for something. They were playing for a division championship. They were playing for an SEC championship. It's these last 3 games that, just felt like maybe they didn't feel like there was much to play for. And that's a thing that just does worry me, Matt. I always feel like it's difficult to flip the switch, so to speak. It's like, and the flip of the switch is, I think it's more of like a mindset thing. We'll play well when we need to play well, because that's what we've been doing this year. And I just don't know if it's that simple, because you're playing against teams. Look, I think there's a talent drop-off for whomever shows up next week comparatively to who you've played the last 3 weeks. But what these teams that are showing up in Fayetteville know how to do is win games. That's independent of talent level. They know how to win games. And it's like David said yesterday. If they make the mistakes yesterday, next Friday against whoever it is that shows up as a 4 seed, they could lose. They can't play like that. And I hate the idea of, all right, we'll play better when we need to, because then we need to.
No, you got to practice, have good practice habits, pay attention to detail. You do the little things well and the big things that happen. I think back to like veteran NBA teams that can flip on a defensive switch. Those are 28-year-old professionals, 32-year-olds. These are 19-year-old kids. Yeah, you got to keep practicing. And I think they do that. And it is human nature. I mean, you kind of have some ebbs and flows and some good highs and some lows. And I had a coach tell me, he said, it's never as good as it seems and it's never as bad as it seems. It's always somewhere right there in the middle. And those guys in the locker room, I think they have a good feel for who they are.
Yeah, they are not the team that played yesterday. That's not Arkansas. That was the 57th game of the year, and it was not the team that showed up for most of the 57 games this season. So I would expect, and they would expect, and the coaches would expect that that's put behind them, and they play better moving forward. It's I think we overthink some of this sometimes and put it on the team. And it's like, well, they're doing something wrong these last 3 weeks. They played their best opponents of the year the last 3 weeks. And actually held their own in some cases. Winning a game at Kentucky, not everybody pulled that off this year. Winning one game at A&M, 3 teams did that this year.
When you had to win one, yeah.
3 teams did that this year. And maybe there were a couple other games on those situations where something goes their way or you get one big hit, you win a game. I think we're overthinking it in some cases. I don't think it's a mindset thing. The team right now has an issue with you don't know who your starting pitchers are right now after Hagen Smith. You don't know who your left fielder is. You don't know who your main run producers are. That's the thing going on with this team. It's not a mental approach. Because I think they approach these last 3 weeks exactly the way they need to, which is let's go win a division championship. Let's try to win an SEC regular season title and then go from there. The go from there, these last 3 games, has not gone so well. Hey, I want to remind you that any of our baseball conversation this week presented by our friends at the Stadium Shop on Razorback, your Omaha's headquarters, locally owned and operated by a family of U of A alumni. They're the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Shop on Razorback.com. Doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Stay with Halftime. We'll wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
Pitch from Bobby Pointer. It's hit high in the air to deep right field. Andrew Benintendi has homered to lead off the 9th inning. A bomb into the scoreboard. Wow.
This is Halftime.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
There's nothing like Old Fortes Rodeo Week, May 27th through June the 1st. Heart-pounding action. Cowboys and cowgirls leaving it all on the dirt. Wrangler wants you at the Old Fortes Rodeo, looking like a champ. Spend $75 or more on Wrangler apparel and receive a free Old Fortes Rodeo ticket voucher. So plan on heading out to the Old Fortes Rodeo. But first, stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, and gear up. Now let's rodeo. Wrangler, long live Cowboys.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough,
enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
We're going over to the Johnson's yard. You're gonna love it. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet over there.
Well, what about that yard over there?
Oh, we can't go in that yard. You see that yellow sign? That says Mosquito Joe. What do you think, I was born yesterday?
Actually, yeah, we both were.
Don't be a mosquito buffet this year. Call Mosquito Joe for a free quote at 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You should stop daydreaming while you're driving. Got the compass in your revision, cruising to Kingates, and you should throw in the sky. Everybody's a star. We want to lock on one, you know yourself another one.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Oh, we can wrap up the first hour here by heading to the McLarty Daniel Hotline, and Eduardo is here with us today. He's the Sherpa, and he is guiding us up. I don't know what mountain you're on right now, Eddie. What mountain are you climbing on right now?
Man, I'm kind of dropping off the mountain a little bit. I'm going to ride the hog train till I can't ride it no more. But I'm going to say this. If we were stopped in a stock market, I mean, we're dropping fast. Let me say this to this team. You know, Matt touched on it a while ago. You know, limping into to the regional. That's not the way you want to bring your mojo. And I'm asking the team today, what gets you pumped up? Because come Friday, I have a saying, that bell is going to be ringing. The question is, are you going to answer that bell? Because rest assured, I don't care who they send in here at Bomb, they're coming to win with that mentality. And you got to get it back. I mean, you're hitting, okay. You do it once, you do it twice, you do it all season long, mainly. Mainly, your pitching and your infield defense has carried you all season long. But down the stretch, it's dropping. I mean, that was Clint Eastwood had a Western field, and he got a big hit back in the day called the good, the bad, the ugly. And that ugly was yesterday. That was the ugliest infield defense I believe I've ever seen a Coach Van Horn team play. So for the players, come Friday, I'm asking you now, don't wait till Thursday night to bring your mojo. Get this. If you have to get the stadium lights on, you need to practice hitting. Because if you don't, you will not advance. You will.
Eddie, I'm going to cut you off here. I hope they stay as far away from Bohm Walker Stadium this weekend as they possibly can. I hope they're locked out of the ballpark. I hope the lights don't work. I hope I hope they work next Friday. I hope they don't work this weekend. Right now they don't need extra batting practice. Right now nobody needs to just play catch. Nobody needs to get in extra swings. They just need to go away from the ballpark, forget about it for a couple of days, come back whenever Dave asks them to come back, Sunday, Monday, whatever it is.
48-hour hiatus, though,
and get ready to go play.
Yeah.
They don't need to hit themselves, try to swing themselves out of a slump. They don't need to practice themselves out of it. They don't need to put any extra
Last
pressure on
thing to do
themselves.
is to press. I'm with you. Don't lack confidence. Go up there. That you're on scholarship. There's a reason you came to the University of Arkansas.
I saw a Kentucky team yesterday, Matt, that got their heads handed to them by LSU on Wednesday, and they showed up yesterday and they played. Now, it's like Bubba said, they played angry. I didn't know if they played angry. They played free. They played loose. They played really well. They played like a really good baseball team that had gotten embarrassed the day before and was out there to do something about it. Arkansas yesterday, they didn't lose 11-0, but there were a lot of mistakes on the field made by players who are fundamentally sound. And I think for them, there's a little embarrassment that goes along with that. So I would expect I'm going to come out and play angry. They're not going to play like they did yesterday. This team's a lot better than that. And they know what yesterday was like. And I saw a team on the plane afterwards that didn't look like they were just ready to press. I don't think they put too much on it yesterday.
Hey, you get to host a regional. You're a number 1 seed. You know, you as far as goals and what you want to accomplish, they're all in front of you. I mean, you want to that you don't get these days back, so you might as well make the most of it.
Be like, man, they blew their shot at a national seed. Man, they blew their shot at playing at home. No, they didn't. They didn't do any of that. They were so good this year that what happened in Hoover doesn't matter. That's how good this team has been in the regular season. They've ended up playing really good teams the last 3 weeks. The teams they face next week, I don't think are as good. We'll be back into the second hour here of halftime in just a moment.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Active weather expected to push through today. We could see the potential for up to quarter-size hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour, and a chance of a few isolated tornadoes today. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the lower 80s. Another chance of some showers and scattered thunderstorms later tonight, and overnight low 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moth at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. And vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime, hour number 2, which I guess is our last real serious hour of the week. It's been a short week for Halftime. Only 1 hour Wednesday, no show yesterday, no show Monday. It's nice to get into the summer. Not summer yet, but I guess we're edging towards it. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Matt Jones and the C Unit are in studio, and we'll be talking with James Teague from the Teague Law Firm on Arkansas baseball in just a little bit. Matt, I saw where the Cavs have fired J.B. Bickerstaff. 2 years, turn the team around. Trying to really keep Donovan Mitchell happy, but as you read through this, the Cavs players weren't very happy that Bickerstaff was too hands-on during practice. Controlled practice too much, which I don't know. I guess I kind of expect that's something a head coach usually would do.
Yeah, the Cavs, I think they got the most out of that young team that they could, watching them here in the playoffs. NBA's it's just like kind of what we're talking about with Arkansas. Only one team gets to win the trophy. Everybody else is considered the L train. Second place is the first loser. So only one team. I like Bickerstaff. He'll get a job. There's some jobs up there. I think another coach that you'll know, Sam Cassell. The old Houston Rocket guy he played for years. But he's I think he's next. He's close. I think he'll be on. He's a Boston Celtics bench coach right now. He's in the playoffs, so I see him getting a job somewhere.
Looks like they may have to get the approval of Donovan Mitchell first and foremost. I think I think he's up up for free agency, so it's got to be a situation where they don't want him to leave. That's the best player they have, and they need to hire a coach who pleases him. Because it doesn't seem like Bickerstaff pleased Donovan Mitchell very much. So I think in this case, it's a little bit of the tail wagging the dog. But it wouldn't be the first instance of this ever happening before. It's interesting, though, when you read, it's like, all right, so he was too hands-on at practice. I've read other stories where a coach gets fired or a manager gets fired because they're too hands-off in practices or workouts, or they're not paying close enough attention. I guess in this case, he cared too much about how practice was working out.
I like Evan Mobley. He number 4. I think he's going to be a stud. Max Struss is he's overrated. You're paying him $14.5 million. What? Get out of here, man. They're just giving money away.
I don't understand some of the salaries in the
NBA. Well, you're looking at their roster, and they have a couple nice pieces, Phil. I think they fit in right where that's they're about a 4th or 5th place team in the East. That's who they are. I mean, that's about what they are looking at that roster.
877-377-6963. Calls and texts come in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. First up is Jeremy in Tulsa. Hey, Jeremy, appreciate your phone call. How are you today?
Hey, guys. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Good. Phil, first off, I think I heard yesterday, today is your son's birthday. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's 12 today. It's a big day.
Okay, nice. Well, happy birthday to him. Hope you guys have a good celebration of his birth. It's always a blessing. But
thank you.
So, Phil, I have a question for you, and I'm just tuning in, so maybe you've talked about it or maybe you've been asked the question. So I apologize in advance if I'm making you sound redundant, but I was going to ask you about Hagen Smith, and after I ask this question, I hope you can call me stupid. It would probably ease my mind if you did. But is there any concern with the fact that his velo was down yesterday? I know I've heard one way or the other. I've read some articles, try to get a better understanding of it. But is there anything of concern with Hagen and maybe his arm going forward, or is it just fatigue? Early day, it was hot in Hoover. I guess, what are your thoughts on that with the Hagen Smith unfolding yesterday?
So, I'm watching, and the velocity is down. It was, 91 to 92, and we've been used to seeing him up at 98, 99. I think he got to 94 and 95 once or twice. But all I can go with is what David said to the ESPN telecast and also to the media in the post-game pressers, that he's fine. And, if I can just think around this a little bit and just try to think about it logically, I've seen Hagen come out and throw 101 miles an hour on his first pitch on a Friday night with the lights on and against an opponent on a Friday night that you feel like, okay, we need to win this because we're going to start our series right here. Let's go do this. It's a totally different situation yesterday, and I just wonder, not necessarily about it being the morning, but it just was a whole different situation for him. And look, I mean, you're going to be the coaches are going to be honest with their pitcher about how many pitches we're going to let you throw today, and the whole idea is to get you ready for next week. Maybe that has something to do with it. That maybe I know Dave said maybe he was amped up because he was missing high with the fastball initially. I don't know if it was a matter of amped up or just trying to get your mechanics down to start the game. But it's a whole different situation than he had pitched in before, and if he knew leading up to it that you're only going to throw, 40 to 55 pitches or whatever it was, I just wonder if he was as intense as he usually would be.
Different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but hey, part of this is that those questions are now be asked probably of Dave the next time he speaks to media, the next time he's in the in front of the cameras, and the next time he's on ESPN. I'm sure that'll be a question moving forward. It's something I wondered about because I wondered about that with Brady Tigert 2 weeks ago. He came back yesterday. His velocity was fine. So I think it was just 2 weeks. He looked good for an inning, and then, he wasn't able to make the play on the little swinging bunt with all the English on it. It's a play that he should have made, and then gives up the home run. But the inning before that, his velocity was back. Honestly, Jeremy, I would expect Hagen's velocity to be back where you're used to it being next week.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you guys. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and go Hogs. Looking forward to the regional. So I'll be in touch. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for calling, Jeremy, and you're not stupid. Not at all. That's it's not a dumb question at all. I was worried about it too. When you're used to seeing somebody throwing 97 and 98, and you're seeing 92 to 93.
So out of his routine. How many times is he going to pitch at 9:30 in the morning? It's just a totally. It's who knows what time do you wake up? You got to wake up 4 a.m. if you're pitching at 9:30. You're just totally changing your routine.
And also to know, I'm used to going out there and be like, all right, I guess they're going to take me out after I throw 90 to 105 pitches, and then yesterday it's just like, yeah, we're taking you out after 60. Oh, okay. I think it's got to tamp you down a little bit. Charlie's next. Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
I'm amazing, guys. Phil, I think callers need to understand the guy that tries to be stupid is the tuna. Leave that to the tuna. He can handle the stupid.
It's when you might veer off from the sports conversation to something else. So just keep that in mind.
No, I'm gonna. Phil, I'm gonna surprise you there. This is all gonna be sports right here. I do want to say happy birthday to your son, though. Hope you guys have an amazing Memorial Day. weekend, as the last caller said. Hope it's awesome. But I do want to dive right in here. Matt, I was going to tell you on the Pacers, I know you talked about this a little bit. Man, they should have won game one. I was so sick to my stomach that they did not win game one, because I feel like when you have a chance on the road to steal a game before a bunch of adjustments and things are made, you got to do it, and they just blew it. I mean, they flat out blew it regardless, and I was just like, man, they finna get – if Halliburton doesn't play, they're getting swept. So I'll just throw that out there. Maybe Indiana gets one if Halliburton doesn't play, but it'd be 4-1. But if he does play, I still think they got somewhat of a chance. But, from what I read, the hamstring is the same one that's kind of bothered him all year, so that could linger. Phil, I want to jump in on this team a little bit. I love Eddie, man. When he calls in here, he's so passionate. I agree with you, Phil. I think this team needs somewhat just of a mental reset. And, like you said, turn the lights off, go home, get away from it for a bit. Also, let's take some positives away, because Mason Molina, last two times he has come out of that pen, has looked amazing. So, and I know you guys got him on the 0-2 where he let the single happen, but because we don't want that next guy coming up, but he was able to get out of it. He's looked great. I mean, his velo is back up. And so the same with Tiger. He had the one good inning, like you said. And do you think – I saw it when it came out of his hand. Now, you're good at calling pitches, Phil. You and Bubba are amazing at it. When that ball – it was 0-2, right? When that ball came out of his hands and it was hanging, and I said, this is a hanging breaker. Here we go. He swung, and it was gone, I think, 400-plus feet. And I was like, man, Tiger knows he can't do that. But, yeah, I think he had his velo back. I think he's going to be fine. As far as our hitting goes, everybody wants us to – I think we just are who we are when it comes to that. We just need timely hits. We got to get back to the strength of who we are, our pitching and our defense, and hope that carries over and get the timely hits, and I think we'll be fine.
Well, they need to do, Charlie, and also, and it's good to hear from you today, offensively, they have taken, I think, a step forward in the last couple of weeks. They just need a better start. It's a slow starting lineup. They don't really threaten too often in the first inning or second inning. It takes a little bit of time for the runs to start coming in, and that worries me a little bit, because I've seen other Arkansas teams that have just jumped on opponents early, played with the lead, and they'll play with the lead sometimes. It's just that lead will come in the fourth or the fifth inning, and I think it'd do a world of good mentally, emotionally, for everybody. You, me, them on the field, if they put a couple runs up in the first inning. You just really haven't seen that very much. And as far as the starters are concerned, I think either Molina or Tiger has to get back in the rotation this next weekend. And I think from what we've seen, if it's going to be one of those two guys, it's going to be Molina, because I think he's looked really good the last two times out. If it's a matter of, well, you're in relief now, go ahead and air it out, just take that mentality to the starting pitching role, because that's what he's done mostly over his career. And that's what he was brought here to do. And I think he was brought here to pitch in June as a starter. So I would expect one of those two. You need them. But right now, Brady showed an inning. He can give you an inning. Molina, he gave you 3. Then he gave you 2. So I guess I'd be surprised if it's not Molina that gets a start next weekend.
Yeah, I like Molina coming on. I think anywhere you can find a place for him, he's definitely going to have a role in the team. And yeah, the Pacers feel they 3 unforced errors in the last 45 seconds. I mean, they just kept giving Boston too many chances. They let game one slip away.
Hey, we're brought to you by Joe's Grilling Cantina. Friday today, Fajita Friday, features charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the extras. Saturdays, tomorrow, endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef and chicken enchiladas you can eat. That's at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, better service. They're at 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps. And you can put an order in at joesfortsmith.com. Time to talk with James Teague from the Teague Law Firm, former Razorback pitcher. We'll dig into Arkansas baseball with him right after this.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limburg Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimburgTeam.com. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
The most pressing issue for him is when the slobbering hog is going back on the court.
And will the slobbering hog be drinking a Coke or a Pepsi?
The slobbering hog is actually on the court 2 times now, adjacent to Coach Nolan Richardson's signature. I don't know that it's going to go back at mid-court anytime soon, but it's on there twice.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Okay, Arkansas, you asked, we answered. The Natural State Jackpot now draws 7 days a week. Woohoo! That means bigger, faster growing jackpots and more winning. Best of all, a ticket is still just $1. Match 2 numbers or more and you're a winner. Match all 5 and you're a jackpot winner. Feeling lucky? Play the Natural State Jackpot today in stores or online. Good luck, Arkansas. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Caymas, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofer's.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at LindberghTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Let's head to the McClarty Daniel Hotline, and James Teague, former Razorback pitcher, member of the Teague Law Firm, with us to talk about Arkansas baseball and things dealing with the law. Hi, James. Happy Friday. Are you working, or is your holiday weekend started early?
Oh, I'm working. I've had a couple Fridays where I've had a little me time, so it's back to work.
All right. Well, welcome back to the office, ma'am. Office right now will consist of some baseball. So
how'd the golf go? Yeah. Did you have any birdies?
So I actually had a birdie putt when we were on the phone. I left it short. I blame the broadcast. I wasn't dialed in enough.
Announcer's curse. I like it.
I shot 76 and I had 4 3-putts. First time on those greens. Was not familiar with them. I had a tough time lagging the ball. So I could have had a really good day, but putting killed me.
Hey, 76 is pretty good. That's what Austin Reeves shot at. He was trying to qualify for the Corn Ferry event. Missed it by 11 strokes, but 76 that's not too bad.
It's almost like I'm just
we got a group of guys we play with, and the problem is I'm right around that area, but I'm the worst one of the group, so it's always an uphill battle. And Tyler Spoon, he's in that group. We play often. We had a pretty contentious match last weekend, but. Like the ex-Hog players kind of bring the fire. They want to win so bad. And so it's good because you get away for a nice, relaxing round, but it's terrible because sometimes you leave more pissed than when you started.
I think Mason Molina is the best golfer on this year's team. Who's the best former Razorback baseball player golfer that you've played with?
I think Josh Alberius is the best. I know that him and his brother, or actually probably Nate Alberius, he won the club championship at Chenal. A lot of good Little Rock golfers in Chenal, and he actually was trying to qualify for the U.S. Open. He made the qualifier. He didn't qualify last week. He got knocked out. But those two guys are scratch. Maybe even plus handicap. So they're better than Spoon and I. But I'd say them too.
Josh would fit too because that's a guy who was a position player and then converted full time to pitching at Arkansas. So he's got the swing, and he's also, I always viewed golf as a pitcher's game, not a hitter's game. Because the hitters, during their baseball season, hitters stay away from golf. Pitchers go golfing sometimes every single day. I had a pitching coach, Ken Patterson, who played golf every single day. I had a manager, Tom Gamboa, that sometimes would play 36 holes a day and then go manage a game. But it's not the hitters that play golf, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's a little bit of a myth. They're gonna, it's going to mess your swing up and all this or that. My pitching actually messed my swing up, so it's the other way around because, with the pitching, I was trying to keep that back heel on the rubber as long as possible because, I'm thinking about driving the hips. So I want to drive the hips with my hamstring and the glute, so I got to do that through the heel, not through the toe. But now, it's kind of thrown my swing off. So, in hindsight, maybe I'd be a better golfer if I wasn't a pitcher, but who knows?
James, the Razorbacks are going into the NCAA tournament with 3 straight losses and losing 4 of the last 5. What's your level of concern going into a regional?
I'd say not super concerned. Best time to lose would be now. I was talking to my wife. It's like, well, if we lose the first one, we really need to just lose the second one. And Hagan went on. He went short. There that second game, and some other guys got mixed in. I think the offense has shown a little bit of life. It's just been the pitching that's kind of fallen behind. But I think if we can get back into our weekend feel where we've got a fresh Hagan Smith who can give us depth, we've got Gackle who can close if need be, or other guys who can bridge the gap to get to Gackle, win that first game. Now, granted, he may not throw that first game depending on who the matchup is. But I think our recipe that was allowing us to win early on, which is relying on him to get at least a win and then putting the pieces together from there, can still work if we can just find another starter who can give us some depth, whether that be Wood or Molina or whoever else.
All right, so that was going to be my next question was, who is it? Gage has shown reason to give him the ball. But then the last time out, yesterday, didn't pitch so well. That's against a really good Kentucky lineup. I think Kentucky and A&M are the 2 toughest lineups that we've seen all year long. So I still think Gage will get it. I think Molina will get a start. And I think he's pitched really well in relief, but I don't think they brought him here to relieve, even though that's where he's looked more comfortable the last 2 times out. What do you think they do with Molina?
If I'm controlling Molina, what I would say is take that mentality and just start with it. If you give us 5 instead of 6, or if you give us 4 instead of 6 or 7, then so be it. I think Molina out of the bullpen, that aggressive approach, throwing a little harder, emptying the tank a little bit sooner, I think he's more effective pitching that way. So let's just do that as a starter, and if it means you go 20 pitches less, then so be it. Give the ball to the next guy. I think you got to give him the ball just because he's shown he can get out. And with Tigert and Wood, it's a little bit hit or miss. But look, if he starts and he gives us 5 good innings, and then we got a fresh bullpen who can pick up the pieces from there, and you can win game 1, and then Hagen Smith does the same game 2, you're really going to be set up. From your opinion, do you throw Hagen game 1, or do you wait to see the matchup, or what do you do there?
Yeah, I guess that depends on the opponent and how scary they look, right? Because I want Hagen Smith pitching against the best team outside of Arkansas in the regional. I really do. I think that gives you your best chance to win that ball game. But then that also takes into the idea that whoever starts that Friday, if it's not Hagen Smith, it's somebody who's only made a couple of starts, if it's Gage Wood, or it'd be somebody in Mason Molina that hasn't had a good start. Like, he's pitched well in relief recently, but hasn't had a good start in over a month. So, man, I'm glad Dave's the one and Matt are the guys that are paid to make these decisions, because I could talk myself in circles about this. It's like this is not the position I thought they'd be in, because starting pitching was the number 1 strength, and now look where we are.
Yeah, if I'm making the decision, I think if you've got the 1-4 matchup and you've got a team that is, you're not really that scared of, I think Molina has shown enough, and he's shown enough out of the pen, that you let him start and maybe he's got a short leash. Mm-hmm. You let him start Friday, maybe he's got a short leash. If you need him to come back in 2 days to relieve, he can do it if he doesn't throw a lot. But, if you go out there and Hagen Smith just dominates that Friday game, and then from there you're thinking, all right, Hagen's done. We got to put the pieces together from here, and we don't know where these pieces are going to lie. That's a scary situation, but it's kind of high risk, high reward, because, if Mason Molina goes out there and struggles, and let's say you don't win game 1, then you're really in a bind. So, yeah, it's quite the predicament.
So I remember in the 2015 College World Series team, that's the last Razorback team that had to play in the single elimination round. Now, remember a 10-inning, 2-1 win over Tennessee, then the crazy comeback against Florida that went until 1:30 in the morning, and then the team got run ruled 2 games in a row. So I think we got home Friday afternoon. I think we took a bus ride back, got back Friday afternoon to Baum in the middle of a state championship game. What did that team do in the 2 days after? Did you guys go around the facilities? Did you go around the park, or did you just try to clear your mind before you found out where you'd be sent for a regional?
Well, I think I've told you the story before, but, we were playing that game against Florida, and I thought we were going to lose, and my elbow was killing me. And I thought, okay, I can go home, I can get some stim, I can relax, I can try to get ready for the regional. I got to find a way to get my arm through the year. Well, then Bobby Wernes hits the home run, we beat Florida, and we go in the huddle, and he says, Teague, you're starting tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
And I came out, I was still going to compete and throw, but I was hurting that game. And I struggled against LSU. We made a couple errors, and they ended up blowing us out. But I remember kind of thinking, if we lost that game, maybe I stay healthy. I don't have that start, and I can continue on. But, the chips fall where they may. When the coach tells you to take the ball, you take the ball and you throw. But I don't hate the idea of losing in the SEC tournament, getting back early, kind of just refreshing. Maybe you don't throw for a day or two, get some bullpens in, have your team meetings, and kind of regroup, especially after losing the last couple. I think more time is better than not here.
There's a severe talent drop-off from who you face in the SEC tournament to who you face on a Friday in the NCAA tournament. And I think that's the case no matter if you're a 1 seed or a 2 seed, and maybe even a 3 seed in some cases. How much does that have to do with winning games? Because the thing that I know is the teams that are showing up next weekend, You're probably going to have a couple of you'll have at least one conference champion, maybe a second potentially. These are teams that know how to win games, which tells me that if you make mistakes, the kind of mistakes that Arkansas made yesterday, you're facing a team that can take advantage of that. And I just don't think Arkansas can play like they did yesterday and get away with it in a regional.
Yeah, I would agree, because a lot of times it seems like those 4 seeds are teams that maybe are less talented, but like you said, have won a lesser conference or have some age and some maturity on their team. You know, it's guys who have been around the block. They've maybe been to a regional before. They face good teams. They maybe don't have the record, or they're just not in the conference to be able to be a higher seed. But they're not, you know, teams like, you know, like a Missouri who's in the SEC who just struggled in that conference and isn't going to go anywhere. They're usually teams that have some experience and know how to win. So I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes you see the name or you see the record, you're the conference, and you think, oh, we can beat this team. But there's a little more to it because, those, like you said, those teams know how to win. A lot of times they've got some age.
James is with the Teague Law Firm, along with his father, Robert. Teague Law Firm's been around nearly 30 years, best of Northwest Arkansas. James can help with all family law matters, criminal law matters, estate needs. They're a full-service law firm, and you'll talk to actual lawyers. You can call James at 479-877-1688, or you can go online to teague-law.com. James, talking about family law matters, tell me about dealing with standard divorce.
Well, I was thinking about, you know, the transfer portal and the people coming in and out and leaving. You know, I'm not happy with this program or this team. I'm going somewhere else. And it seems kind of crazy, but kind of in the legal world, that's what we deal with all the time. You know, I'm not happy with this partner or this situation, so I'm getting out of here. I'm going to, you know, grass is greener on the other side kind of deal. And, you know, it's kind of the bread and butter of our firm. You know, we do primarily a lot of divorce, you know, family law, child support, paternity actions. And so every day we're getting a lot of experience in that field, you know, looking at division of property, the intricacies of that, making sure that all custody matters are taken care of, making sure child support is properly determined. And so, you know, in this day and age in the baseball world, there's a lot of moving around, but frankly, there's a lot of moving around too on the relationship side too. It's something that we can definitely handle.
James, always appreciate these talks. Looking forward to more of it next month as the Razorbacks move through the NCAA tournament. Have a great long weekend.
Yeah, we'll do. You too, Phil. Look forward to it.
It's James Teague, former Arkansas pitcher and member of the Teague Law Firm. We can open up the McLarty Daniel hotline for the back half of the second hour. Call us at 877-377-6963. Halftime is back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Attention Arkansas, Red River Dodge is the place to be with over 50 new Chargers and Challengers in stock and over 100, yes, 100 new Ram 1500s ready to roll. Plus, get up to $15,000 off MSRP on a new Ram Heavy Duty. Make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com. And always remember, at Red River, we deliver.
During It's the Season sales event. I need directions for paying down debt.
Starting route. Apply for a SoFi personal loan and consolidate your debt into one fixed payment. Turn right into a positive outlook and get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign with no fees required.
Got it. You could get out of high-interest credit card debt with a SoFi personal loan. View your rate at SoFi.com/debt in 60 seconds with no impact to your credit score. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/debt. NMLS 696891.
This is Halftime.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Auto Glass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Auto Glass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Auto Glass a call. 782-4441.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I've got a secret I cannot say. They might have moved me, give it away. You've got something that I understand. Hold it in tightly, God on command. Leap of faith, do you doubt? Cut you in, I just cut you out. I'm telling
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Matt, I see on Razorback football's Facebook account that looks like today may be freshman move-in day. See some of these kids coming in here to the Marshall. There's some of them in the Smith Football Center eating. There's a couple of the players standing in front of their giant TV, and looks like the first day for some of these kids too.
How exciting!
Yeah,
how fun! Yeah, go.
A little nerve-wracking too.
Absolutely, a little anxiety, little you go through it, but it's cool. And then you meet so many new people, and starting life. Just go get it.
You need like I had a week before classes started when I went away to college. I had a week to get acclimated to campus. All I did was get acclimated to where the parties were being held. I have a feeling these guys have a little bit more guidance than I did as far as that's concerned. Yeah, when I look back on my first 2 college years, Matt, I think I probably should have stayed closer to home, just to have some supervision, just a little bit, just a tad, because I didn't have any, and it didn't go so well.
You had, there was, I think if you had a 3.5 your first semester, you didn't have to go to study hall, and so I made sure I had a 3.5 because that meant after practice, you have your whole day planned for you. You got stuff, but so that meant from 6 to 8 o'clock, you had mandatory study hall. And I was like, yeah, I think we'll just make sure we get these elective classes okay.
Should have been a football player, man. What would have happened if you got, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. Like, say, like a 1.6.
Hey, then they put you in those other classes and they give you extra time and they make sure they do all the things they can for you. That's right.
It was a totally random GPA that I just pulled out of thin air, by the way, all right? Don't think that there's any correlation going on. Jack in Tulsa has called us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Good afternoon, Jack. What's up?
Hey, Phil and Matt, how y'all doing today?
Good, thank you.
Hey, it's a pleasure to talk to you all. I've called in before, but it's been a while. Hey, Phil, you said something there before that commercial break that kind of plays into what I was wanting to ask about. With Arkansas moving into a regional now, we're going to be facing teams that know how to win, that know how to find ways to win. And my concern about this team isn't necessarily our pitching, but it's our ability to push runners across the plate. If you want to put it in football analogy, we can put up 700 yards between the 20s all day long, but we can't score. If you're DVH going into a regional, knowing that, you're going to be facing teams now that know how to win, what do you do to fix that, Phil? Or is it something that's just mental and you hope our bats wake up as we move into the regional?
David said something in the pregame interview about we've been practicing a little bit more on the small ball aspect of things. They just weren't in the situation to try to utilize that in either of the 2 games that they played. In order to really, play small ball, you need runners on base before there's an out or before there's 2 outs. And that didn't happen yesterday until they're down 6-0. And, they trailed from the outset in game 1-2 against South Carolina. So I think I wouldn't be surprised to see not the sacrifice bunts necessarily, because what you do when you're sacrificing is that also means you move a guy from first to second base, you still need to base it to bring him in. First and second, nobody out, I think they might bunt. I think they'll look more to move guys up from second to third and find a way to bring him in, maybe a squeeze bunt here or there. That's the kind of thing that I heard. But it still is going to come down to you need a clutch hit. Like, you're not going to squeeze bunt your way to Omaha. You're not going to sacrifice bunt your way into the super regional. You need to score some runs. You need the clutch hit. You got to have somebody in the middle of the batting order that is driving in runs. And if there's a thing that I can point to offensively, is that you haven't had at all this year 1 or 2 guys that you say these are our consistent run producers. This is the guy that's going to get us the big hit on a routine basis. It's happened in fits and starts. Sometimes it's Peyton Stovall, sometimes it's Peyton Holt, sometimes it's Sprague Lott, sometimes it's Aloy, sometimes it's White, but very often it's not 2 or 3 of them doing it in the same game or the same weekend. So, that I think that's also why Dave's just had so many different lineups. It's just trying to get the right guy at the plate in the right situation and hope that that's the moment that he's hot. That's what happened with South Carolina on Wednesday. You get Cole Messina coming up after hit batters twice. That's the guy you want up with men on base, because he's hitting them over the fence, and the guy's just been amazing right now. It's a little bit of luck, but it's also lineup construction. So I think they're still looking for that. Yeah, you're not going to small ball your way to Omaha. You're going to hit your way to Omaha, and you're going to hit your way to Omaha by scoring runs, and they're going to be knocked in by guys that are hitting 3 through 6 in the batting order. That's how baseball teams usually win games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, Phil. I agree. Yeah. Hey, well, thank you so much, and keep up the great work. Now, I enjoy your show.
Thank you very much, Jack. I appreciate it. I do think, and I think I've said this for a while here, Matt, I think, look, offensively, they are what they are. That doesn't change right now. Now, that's not to say you don't go into a regional this next weekend and have some great weekend and hit a few balls over the fence and have a double-digit run total or anything. It would come off like a surprise, but I've seen other years where they've had a little trouble to score and find a way to just put up runs when they needed to in a regional or a super regional.
Yeah, I'm like you said, DVH gets to make the calls. I like Aloy batting at the top of the lineup, even first and second. I think he's one of the best hitters on the team.
They're really going to need Vaheva Aloy.
Yeah, I like as far as bats, I like his. I think that he's going to be okay.
But broke his bat the other day too, Matt.
The metal bat,
one of his two bats. I think it was the Dragon bat, and yeah, it snapped, man. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it. Like I've seen a broken metal bat, but it's been like a piece of it, like the top of the bat flew off or something like that. This thing just broke right in his hands. It broke like it was a wooden bat almost. But they need his bat. They need him driving in runs. When you are hitting 3 through 6 in the batting order, you're there to drive in runs. However it happens, hit him over the fence, hit him into the gap, ground him up the middle, hit him into the hole at second, but whatever. You're there to drive in runs. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Ryan asks about where is Souza. Souza's been getting chances. He has not been hitting. He's played against right-handers or against lefties that have reverse splits, and he's not making very much contact right now. He's had opportunities each of the last few weeks, and I still think he'll get a chance this next weekend. JT wants to talk about grade point averages. Yeah, 1.6 was pretty low. It's hey, at least my first semester GPA was higher than Hagen Smith's earned run average. That usually doesn't go hand in hand. I got it over 2 for the second semester, so I was able to stick around. If I'd have had it under 2 after a year, they'd have kicked me off campus.
Oh, well, never a doubt. You just needed to feel a little pressure.
That's what life is about.
Yeah,
I had
easy for you.
I had a conversation with my daughter about that. You know, she's going through. She just finished her first high school week of finals for the last semester. I'm like, so all these things you're learning. You're not just learning about the subject matter. You're learning what it's like to live under pressure. Because that's what life is like. And that's what baseball can be like too. Yep. What you do when the lights are on and when the pressure hits you. And sometimes some of us seem to work a little bit better under pressure. All of us procrastinators, yeah, we do it on purpose, don't we? Just so the pressure builds up and you get a little bit better at what it is you're doing. Brandon in Decatur will take us into the break. Brandon, thanks for calling. What's going on?
Hey, you bet. Hey, I'm joining a little bit late, so if somebody asked, I apologize. But a question about Diggs. So he's a good player, did really well last year. Got him in the lineup, specifically at leadoff. But he's not producing anything either. He's a great right fielder, right? But what do you think the odds are of maybe putting Lovich over there and putting somebody else like a Lawyer or somebody else to lead off our lineup? That's all I've got. Just kind of curious about him and what your thoughts are.
Thanks, Brandon. Part of the issue with right field is that there's no clear-cut successor for right field, just like there is no clear-cut successor for left field. The only clear-cut outfielder right now on an every-game basis for Arkansas is Peyton Holt. And look, Lovich has hit a little bit. I don't think it's been on a consistent enough basis to say, yeah, you're going to be our right fielder. And he's had some big mistakes in the field. So, putting him in the outfield, I think they might view that as a bit of a risk in certain situations. Because if it's late in the game or even middle innings and they have the lead, he's the outfielder that's going to come out of the ball game in order to put Wilmsmeyer in center to have a better defensive lineup. So, and look, putting Diggs at the top of the lineup, I think, is also an idea that work the count a little bit, Kendall. That's what his natural thing is to do. And hope that he finds a way to get on base. But it's not the Kendall Diggs from last year. That also is, it's been clear for a while. If we're waiting for him to get hot, I don't know when that happens because we've been waiting for quite a while here. 877-377-6963 is our McClarty Daniel hotline when you want to get with us. And brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making big plans for the family over the summer and looking for an RV to take you across the country. Well, Crabtree RV has the right RV for you. You can get a look at it on their showroom, I-40 and I-49 right there at the junction beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma, or online at crabtreerv.com. And back to wrap up hour number 2 of halftime right after this.
Swing the drive into left field. Way back it goes. You gotta get out of here. Bobby Wernes with a goal.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
You know what I'm excited about? Enough of this baseball stuff. I'm excited about C-Unit finally completing the trilogy of Back to the Future, which feels like this is like, how have you gotten to 29 without, how do you watch 1 and then not watch 2 and 3? This is like watching the first Godfather but not watching the second. It's like watching the Godfather and then watching the third and not watching the second. How do we do this?
I don't know. That must take some skill. Does each one get better?
C-Unit, are you ready? You better buckle up.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
Enough road to get up to 88.
Well, where they're going, they don't need roads. There's a railroad in one of these movies, too, which will be very helpful for you. C-Unit, you have an assignment for this weekend as you watch Back to the Futures 2 and 3. We can assign you 2 movies because it's a long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need 4 predictions from number 2, from the futuristic movie. 4 predictions that came true and 4 that did not. And we're going to need this for us on Tuesday to open the show with. It'll be the only thing I care about from the weekend, outside of maybe, who's coming to Fayetteville for the regional and where Arkansas is seated and then the other 64 teams and all of that. So maybe we'll do like a segment on that and then 2.5 hours on Back to the Future 2. What do you think?
All right, I only know of one, so I've got some work to do.
You have a lot of
Sports Almanac.
Yeah, that's right. He has no idea what he's getting into here, too. That's very good.
How do you know how to start that card? Nobody knows how to
love
start
movie
that card but me.
predictions. That's the coolest thing when they predict something. What's like the Simpsons? Aren't they famous for that?
Yeah, I think they've been predicting things for. Keep in mind now, I think the original Simpsons came out the same year that Back to the Future 3 was released.
Like 89, 88?
I think it's 89.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was. Well, don't procrastinate like I did throughout my entire life. Make sure you get these movies watched, and there are no crib notes for it. There's no
cheat.
There's no cheat sheets for this movie. You won't find Spark Notes or anything like that for this movie. You're actually gonna have to watch the
It's
movie.
easy watching. It flows.
Golden Hour is coming up in a moment. 877-377-6963. It's halftime, and we're right back.
It's the Memorial Day Hail Sale at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. There was a storm a few weeks ago that left very slight hail damage on most of the units at Harry Robinson. These slight blemishes mean thousands of dollars in savings.
Yes, definitely. Every single one of these vehicles out here on the front row, they were here during that hailstorm. Every single one of them has thousands of dollars off in savings. And I mean, if you walk this front line, no joke, just walk that front line, take a look at some of the inventory that we have, and you'll see that there's really not that much damage at all on these vehicles. But I'll tell you this, you can save thousands of dollars just by picking out one of these hail units.
This is pre-owned inventory. This is also brand new Fords.
Yes, I've got a new Bronco up there that I've already had fixed, and I can still do $6,200 off of that last remaining 23 Bronco.
All right, it's the Memorial Day Hail Sale at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw, online at harryrobinson.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
With over $30,000 in cash and prizes, don't miss the 34th annual Judge Greg Ray Memorial Tri-Lakes Big Bass Festival, sponsored by the Sevier County Chamber of Commerce, Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. Head to Gillum, DeQueen, or Dirks Lake and set your sights and your hook on the special $10,000 Reel the Weight prize on each lake if your winning numbers match up. Go online, SevierCountyChamberOfCommerce.org for an entry form. This ad paid for with state and regional funds.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Active weather expected to push through today. We could see the potential for up to quarter-size hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour, and a chance of a few isolated tornadoes today. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the lower 80s. Another chance of some showers and scattered thunderstorms later tonight. And overnight low 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that has perspective. Ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well,
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moth at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome into the golden hour of halftime. It's our last hour of the week. We only did like an hour in the last couple of days. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, the C Unit, Christian Johnston producing. We'll be talking with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen in just a little bit. Let's see, it's my son's birthday today, so we'll have I get to hang out with him for a couple of hours, just the two of us, before we've got a dinner in his grandmother's house. And then it's like a weekend. It's like, hey, dude, I don't have any games to call here. I don't have to worry about a darn thing. I don't have to get ready for anything. We don't even know who the opponents are until Monday. You tell me what you want to do. I'm usually the one making the decisions about this. You tell me what you want to do, and then I'll tell you reasons why we can't do that today.
You got Dave and Buster's. You got a batting cage. All sorts of stuff to do. Yeah.
Wonder if we want to go out to a golf range. That's where I'm good at golf, Matt. I'm really good on the golf range. There's a place where I live here, not too far away. It's one of those driving ranges that has a giant golf ball in the middle of the driving range. I'm really good at hitting that thing. Straight, no slice. You get me on the golf course, it's like I've never even practiced.
Golf range would be fun as long as it gets hot. You got to have some shade. I don't know what kind of what it would be called, but you can't be just sitting out in the sun. I'm too old for that.
It's the point now where the local pools are open. Now we can go swimming. Now we can go sit in the pool of everybody else's sweat and SPF lotions that they're putting on their bodies. Now that I think about it, I think I'll stay out of the pool. Thank you very much. Might just go into the ocean if I can find a way to get over there at some point. But hey, we're nowhere near that. What else can I do this weekend, man? I mean, I watch the SEC tournament. I watch a little bit of NBA, maybe. Watch some Major League Baseball, I guess. Maybe the Pirates, or if Skeens is pitching or something else. Otherwise, man, I almost don't know what to do with myself. I don't get these weekends. I don't think I've had a weekend where I haven't called a game since I don't know when. So I kind of need help with what to do with myself here. If anybody out there knows things that we could do when you're not used to just having time, help me out, please. 877-377-6963. I guess I could figure out some of this stuff with, or read more about what the next phase of college sports is going to look like. Matt, I was wrong. You're not getting back pay for this settlement. It's athletes from 2016 through 2020 ish will get the back pay on some of these damages that schools and the NCAA are going to be liable for from this massive settlement that the Power Five conferences have taken have decided to come into. I've always wondered with professional sports, you know who makes the money. You have owners of teams, and therefore, when there's a profit, you know where the money's going to. After all the salaries are paid and the rent is paid and the lease is paid and all the bills are paid, that money goes into an owner's pocket or to shareholders. With college sports, there are no shareholders. There are no owners. There are no people looking to make investments or making a return on their investment. But now there is. The private equity is also coming to college sports. And this organization, I think Weatherford and Cardinal are what they're called, and they've created a collegiate athletic solutions platform in which they're looking to inject as much as $50 million to $200 million into 5 to 10 Division I athletics programs. And I think a few of those are also Power 5 programs. These are organizations that, you know, they'd be looking for a return on their investment, but not as an owner. It's almost like just offering credit to these athletic departments. And I wonder which athletic departments right now potentially could need some giant influx of cash to maybe break a contract if they're looking to get out of a league. Florida State, Clemson. They got money, but do they have the kind of money to break that grant of rights with the ACC? So, but I mean, you're getting now since college sports is changing so dramatically, now there will be these organizations that are looking for a return on their investment, not as owners, but as almost like private lenders, and they'll get some kind of a percentage of the profits that the athletic departments generate. Now, you know who else has pocketed the profits coming from college sports? Because if you're not filtering the money to an owner or to shareholders, it's got to go somewhere. These athletic departments, I mean, they're nonprofit or not-for-profit. I don't exactly know which one, but they're not just holding massive reserves. That's the building boom that's gone throughout the SEC in the last 15 years or so. That's the boom in salaries for coaches and administrators and the largesse of what athletic departments have gotten to, in which, you know, it's almost like you joke about being the assistant to the assistant traveling secretary, but you kind of have that sort of thing going on in college sports, a little bit of redundancy potentially. And then you look at Bob Bowlesby, the former Big 12 commissioner, was paid $17.2 million for his last year on the job. Some of that was for the money that had been left on his contract, and I don't know if he was forced out or just asked to leave, and then they pay him $17 million for that. Larry Scott, the guy who literally drove the Pac-12 into the ground, he gets $1.5 million each of the last 2 years. That doesn't even count the near $6 million that Delaney, the Big Ten president or the Big Ten commissioner, gets. That's where the money's gone to. It's gone to facilities. It's gone to meals for players and into nice travel and hotels and everything that goes into that. But it's also gone into the pockets of administrators. And I figure that might change at some point, or will it? Because how much more money are each of these television contracts worth now? Once they're now kicking in extra $20 to $30 million per school? Does this mean with athletes being paid a line item by universities, because you got a budget, I think they're talking about $20 to $30 million for the damages that they'll be on the hook for and for their current athletes to pay? Does that mean that this all comes from the added money from television contracts, or are we tightening the belt a little bit? And what does that look like if the belt gets tightened? Do you think A&M's already gotten rid of a few staffers? Maybe more than just a few. Could that be something that's coming down the pike at some point? I got asked a question that I don't have an answer for as far as the donations to the Razorback Foundation. Could that be something that eventually goes directly to players? I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be revenue sharing that athletic departments are on the hook for to spend on athletes. Is that revenue just from TV? Is it revenue from ticket sales, concessions, or all revenue thrown into one, which would also be donations? Or is it just, the Razorback Foundation and the athletic department are two different things? So I don't know the answer to this question. There's a lot of questions to be asked, a lot of questions to be answered. And right now, I don't think that there are really many answers to it. But this is also where I think things become a little bit more equitable. And I have nothing against administrators and the money that they make, but they work really hard, and most of them are really good at what it is that they do. But I feel like the reason that those salaries increased was because the contracts for television increased and athletic departments increased, and there was nowhere else to send that money. You'd already spent all the money on facilities and new ballparks and new additions to stadiums and practice facilities and student athlete facilities and everything that goes into that. And then you end up with commissioners and administrators that are making a lot more money than they did 6 or 7 years ago. And I just figured that probably stops at some point because some of this money is going to athletes next. It's not a professional model. I don't know what to call it because it's not quite college sports. That's for sure. But there's still going to be student athletes, still going to get scholarships. There'll be unlimited scholarships now for sports. I think the conferences will have a chance to make their own rules as far as roster counters and scholarships and a lot of other rules that go into this. And it still also feels a little bit, Matt, like we could be in a place in a few years that if we think this is the thing that's going to stabilize college sports, the SEC and the Big Ten are still making so much more money than the others that it still feels like we're going in the direction of a Big Two and maybe an NCAA still around to host it. I don't know.
Well, if I was you, I wouldn't waste your time with that over the weekend. I'd let that just kind of naturally happen. There was this 3-part series called Bronx Zoo. It's the Bronx Zoo 90. It's called Crime, Chaos, and Baseball over the New York Yankees. And I watched that over this last weekend and had Steinbrenner and going in. It kind of starts about 89 and it goes up to 96 where they get their guys and they beat the Braves. And that's kind of, but really the main thing is the 1990 season and how they had the dude that was doing kind of the Billy Bean before that. And they were finding the value and George Steinbrenner had stepped away for a little bit, but it was very, very interesting.
If I remember, I think Steinbrenner was banned for a year.
Exactly.
He didn't step away.
It was some gambling issue and some stuff. Yeah, no, it goes deep. It delves in there, man. Check it out. I watched it and it was the best 2 hours of my weekend. It was pretty cool.
That'll be a lot more interesting than digging through the weeds of this settlement.
Yeah, you'll know all the players and just to hear their stories and then to kind of see Donnie Baseball. That was kind of his. He didn't have a lot of postseason success, right? Like
none.
Exactly.
I think he had a little bit in '95. That was it.
He hit a home run and everybody's like, it's the loudest the Yankee Stadium's ever been. Because he was beloved by the Yankees.
Yeah, that's right. I think he might be. Now he's not going to be a Hall of Famer, but he's one of the only real beloved Yankees who never won a World Series.
If he would have got into baseball 7 years later and been part of that Yankees squad, 100% he would be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So I think his talent, he was good enough to be a Hall of Famer.
If his back didn't go out on him,
that was the thing.
He'd have been around for that 96.
It goes over some of that, and then it has one of their homies that was a right fielder, and he was dating going to the prom with a 15-year-old, and it was and Buck Showalter. He was talking bad about the old timers, and he's like, I'm getting rid of this guy as soon as I can. It was wild stuff. Brought some Cougars. They had a homie from the Expos. You'll know exactly who he is. He brought 2 Cougars into the stadium. Just wild. Yeah.
One of the things that just I hate about, and it's not like I hate about it, it's just like a heartbreaking irony. Don Mattingly and Wade Boggs. I mean, I guess you could say they had more, it would be a friendly rivalry. They were 2 of the best hitters in the American League of their time, and they would fight it out for the American League batting crown and MVP and everything. And Boggs never won a World Series with the Red Sox, but the year after Mattingly retired, and his last year was '95, the Sox or the Yankees signed Wade Boggs. And then he's over with them when they win the World Series the next year. So Boggs spends 1 year with the Yankees, wins a World Championship, and Don Mattingly spends his whole career with the Yankees. The year after he leaves, they win the World Series with Boggs in their lineup. I love Mattingly, and I love Boggs too. We're going to break here on Halftime in just a moment, talking with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen, so stay with us.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
I don't hear it coming out of that. That is by far the best win of the season right there. Thank you very much. Happy Mother's Day. We'll see you tomorrow. 1, 2, 3.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
At Gray Brothers Equipment, it's Kubota Orange Days with 0 down, 0% financing available for 84 months on Kubota's popular L2502, L3302, and L3902 tractors. Get into Gray Brothers and make your best deal on a new Kubota tractor today. Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Bodo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hey Diamond Hog fans, the road to Omaha is smooth sailing, but the road to co-parenting, not so much. If you are in a divorce or custody dispute and need real advice at a reasonable price, call me, Jackie Mock at Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. With me at Cleanup, we're sure to cross home plate. Go Hogs!
Arkansas is back to Omaha.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Since you don't wonder why, baby, it don't matter now. You got to let go of your worry. Oh, honey, you didn't do nothing wrong. Sometimes that shit's waiting. You just gotta move. If at first you don't succeed, and I got you just gotta
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Let's head to the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Neil Atkinson with us from BetSarazin, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. NBA playoffs, NFL preseason prop bets, college football prop bets, Major League Baseball full swing, NHL playoffs, conference tournaments, softball super regionals, golf and tennis, darts and table tennis. Neil, it's like it's all happening at the same time. What's up?
Yeah, and hey, and I have to make a call out to that NCAA softball covering the super regionals there, and we covered a lot of the regionals there too. I'm looking around. I think we're the only ones doing that. Now we're not taking a whole lot of money on it, but it's out there, and that's why you have a little fun with it. And it's fun watching those ladies play softball. Boy, I wouldn't want to take a pitch from some of them because I'd duck. I'm telling you what.
Well, and it's like for a sports bettor, we always hear that the NCAA basketball tournament is Valhalla. I mean, that's like that's where you get all these games to bet on and all the parlays that can go along with that. But I also think about, I mean, this is the week of conference baseball tournaments. It's the same thing as conference basketball tournaments. In fact, there's even more games because a lot of the tournaments, most of them are double elimination.
Yeah, and that's what's been a lot of that's a lot of fun about these tournaments. So I look them at like little mini March Madnesses. All of these playoffs. The NBA, the NHL. And then when we got the College World Series coming up, we're already in the Women's Softball World Series. I mean, I just love it. Now the games, there's not as many games as maybe per se. Once we get into that, but there's always something going on from like 9:30 in the morning. I mean, here we are playing baseball, and a lot of people are paying attention to it, and that started on Tuesday. So, it's a lot of fun this time of year.
So, we say these sports like they're one big monolith, and we think about them as being American sports first and foremost, right? When you think of basketball, yeah, there's the NBA right now, but there's also the EuroLeague going on and prop bets on the NBA draft. When you think of baseball, it's not just college, it's not just Major League. I know BetSarazin's got AAA and Korean baseball and Japanese baseball and everything. I mean, when you think of these sports, it's not just the American sports.
Right, and there's a lot of shift workers in this state, and some people are up in the middle of the night and have different hours, and it's very interesting to see how much we get on like the Korean Baseball League, because somewhere somebody's streaming one and watching it, because we even have some in play on those games over there. It's not flash bets where it's play by play, but we do have in play betting on some of those American sports that are played overseas, and they're a lot of fun to watch, and it's different. And just looking at with the Japanese and the Korean players that we're getting in the Major League Baseball, I mean it's becoming all. I mean it is intertwined, and from the gambling perspective, the more content that we have out there, the better for us, because that's a reason that each and every fan can come to the website and find usually their favorite sport and bet on it, and if they don't, and ask, and if we can put a line on it, we'll do our best to get one up for you.
You know, you mentioned the flash bets, and that's in-game betting. I know that's now active for NHL playoffs. What's the difference between play-by-play betting and flash bets?
Well, there is. Our developer forgot to change the name on the development site from play-by-play to flash bets. That's the only difference between them. And yeah, I'm telling on myself there, but yeah, that was just a slight overlook on my part that I didn't catch it, because I was just so excited to see the flash bets for, you know, how we brand those play-by-play betting on the site, that I overlooked that we forgot to change the name from the generic play-by-play to our flash bets, and that's all that was there. So they're the same thing.
So as far as the NBA draft is concerned, and that's coming up in, I guess it's about a month or a little more than a month, it seems that the most famous name in the draft is not going to be picked first, and that's pretty rare. It's about Bronny, and you know, I know there's a lot of bets available on other apps about where he goes or if he goes and who takes him. Does BetSaracen have props on Bronny too?
Well, what team do you want to bet to taking? Right now, Los Angeles Lakers are the favorite at plus 175, followed by the Cleveland Cavaliers at plus 1,000. So, you know, and then you got the Sixers at plus 1,000, and I think the Knicks at plus 1,200. So, you know, you got some teams way down there at the bottom. But if you look at the top four, if the Lakers for some reason don't take him, or something happens, and either Cleveland, Philadelphia, or snag him, you know, you can get 10-1 on your money instead of just, you know, 1.751 on your money. You know, you're not even doubling your money when you know, getting 2-1 if you do the Lakers, and you know, so there's where your money making opportunities are. Now, never bet the farm on any of this stuff or the mortgage or anything like that. But if you just want to put a friendly, fun bet in there, and if it comes through, hey, take that money and use it to bet on a parlay, and that's what it's about. It's the fun speculation part of it. And you don't have to bet a lot of money. You can bet as little as $1 on these fun markets.
We had bets on, I think, on the WNBA draft, NBA draft, NFL. Major League Baseball draft takes place during the All-Star break. That's a little less than a couple months away. Will you guys have things for the Major League Baseball draft? Because there's obviously going to be some localized interest, figuring Hagen Smith goes top 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that, but I'm sure we will, because Hagen Smith. He's been on my radar as far as drafts, markets, all year long. So we will have some things on the draft. I don't know exactly what that coverage is going to be. I've been worried about some of the other things that we've been working on and being ready for the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs, and some new technology that we're going to be adding to the site over the next couple of months. So, yeah, but we will definitely have that. And then, again, something special this year that we have to get ready for is the Olympics and all of the coverage that we're going to have there, and any opportunities to any Arkansas-centric players that may be, in one of the major markets, to see if we could call attention to that also.
With Olympics, I think, and I've looked at this, it's mostly right now about number of gold medals that each country will win. But when it comes to the competitions themselves, are the competitions that are judged, are those also available, or is that just about, can you just put money on keeping score?
Yeah, there's ways, but even the ones are judged are going to be a part of it. One of the most popular ones that are judged sometimes are the boxing, and we get a lot of actions on the boxing on the Olympics, and of course we get it mainly on the baseball and the team sports that are in the Olympics. But yeah, and right now you're not going to have a lot of lines. Still, qualifying is still ongoing for the Olympics, to make the Olympics. So, all the fields are not necessarily set and who's qualified for it. So, but yeah, the Olympics, we're going to try to have some fun with it. And the Olympics are at a good time for us because it's a slow time. So it's not going to take away from any of the other major sports. Really, all you're going to have really going on is WNBA and Major League Baseball at that time, and we'll just start beginning to think about preseason football.
Well, got the conference finals right now in the NBA, and then the finals coming up right after that. There's a lot of options, a big menu for NBA basketball and BetSaracen right now, Neil. There's a lot to look at.
Yeah, and right now that's where everybody's focused on. the majority of all of our bets are NBA playoffs right now, followed by is Arkansas on the diamond. That's number 2. And then after that, it spreads out pretty even with Major League Baseball and all of that. But right now, NBA, everybody is really, really focused on that. That's 60% of our volume right now. A lot of money comes in on that, and people really love their basketball here in Arkansas. And boy, is next year's college basketball season going to be fun.
You ready for it to be? Hey, we don't want to fast forward to November just yet, but
Not just yet, but hey, I'm wondering about some of the liabilities that I'm going to have to manage, and with the futures and the parlays and things of that nature. It's going to be a lot of fun because heck, the last time he changed schools, he won the national championship his first year, I think. So, hey, that's high on the radar.
Liabilities and expectations for a team go hand in hand, right?
Yeah, pretty much so. If Arkansas has that magical season we're all clamoring for, everybody in the state but me will be happy. And the only reason I won't be happy is on the financial performance P&L review the next month. March has not been very friendly to Bet Saracen here lately, so maybe we'll have a good one next year. But the only way we can have but if Arkansas does what they're going to do, I'm going to be biting my fingernails next month. But hey, we got a lot to do before then, so a lot to check out this weekend too.
Hey, you'd mentioned that there's some things in development, and I'll just leave it open-ended here. Is there anything can you open the hood? Can we get a look under the hood and anything that might be planned over the next month or two for Bet Saracen?
Well, probably the number one thing that you're going to see for not letting out, that's something that's super going to be maybe more competitive facing that I might want to let out now. But one of the big things that we are working on is to make where you have total security of your account. I know I've been on here a couple of times and say, hey, don't share your passwords. Just as a teaser, I'm going to make passwords a thing of the past, and you trying to make a bet on a game and doing a password reset. If you've got your phone, not somebody else's, your phone, and that's where your Bet Saracen account is, I'm going to give you very, very easy access to it whenever, and I'm going to make it where nobody else can get into it also. So it's a new security protocol that we're going to be doing, and our people are going to like it because I think we've all been there, and I call it password HELL, when you can't remember that password and then you get put in the password reset, and then you got even more questions to ask. That is absolutely, or you're calling customer service to reset it. I'm gonna make that thing a thing of a past, and I think people will really, really like that. But making it, all I'm doing is making it easier for you to get to your account and making it harder for anybody else to get there. So, well, we're really, really glad for that. And I know one of the major operators in the country are looking at it too, but it looks like we're going to beat them to being live by many, many months.
I think you're doing the Lord's work there, Neil, because a world with fewer passwords will be a better world indeed, as long as we're secure with our accounts. We'll leave it there, Neil. Yep. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for hopping on with us. Be thinking about you. Thank you so much.
All right. As always, everybody, bet with your head and not over it. Keep it fun and entertaining, and good luck on all your parlays this weekend.
Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. And you want to put a little wager on your favorite sporting event, you got Bet Saracen right there on your phone. Apple users download from the App Store. Android users from Google Play. You can use any web browser. Just type it in, betsaracen.com. Make sure you're inside the state of Arkansas to use Bet Saracen. Back for the home stretch of the Golden Hour. We'll take calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. We are back right after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Get your fishing gear ready for the 34th annual Judge Greg Ray Memorial Tri-Lakes Big Bass Festival, sponsored by the Sevier County Chamber of Commerce. Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. Get your fish on at either Dirks, DeQueen, or Gillum Lakes. With over $30,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. And there'll be a special $10,000 Reel the Weight prize on each lake if your winning numbers match up. Go online, SevierCountyChamberOfCommerce.org for an entry form. This ad paid for with state and regional funds.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey and Hole Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Probably sleeping. I got this thing I've been thinking. Yeah, I admit I'm drinking. The void is back and I'm blinking. Cannot stop the aeroplane from crashing. Finally circled up from the sky. Yes, so hang on me, hang on me, hang on me.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Yeah, we got an NBA game tonight. Is there a game to watch?
NBA game tonight, game 2. Your boy, Daniel Gafford, Arkansan only. You thought I was going to say Martin Luther Kyrie Irving Jr. Yeah, but Hey, he's been balling out. He's a Hall of Famer on the basketball court. Him and Luka, they're just a tough man. I think the whole world wants to see a Dallas-Boston finals, Phil. Now I don't know. I honestly think this Dallas-Minnesota game series goes 7. It's a 50-50. I mean, either one of these teams could win it. You got to think Anthony Richardson's going to play better. He's a young superstar. He's one of the most athletic, if not the most athletic guy on the floor. But you got to think he's probably going to play a little better. Jason Kidd, masterclass coaching in that first, made Minnesota take 9 more threes than they've taken all year in a game. You know, they know where the matchup is, and if I was Jason Kidd, I'd be trying to turn Karl Anthony Towns into a 3-point shooter too. I mean, that dude's a beast anywhere on the floor. Push him out as far as you can.
So you basically think there'll be one good series and one that's not even going to be the gentleman's sweep any longer.
If Halliburton is hurt, you got Pascal. And see, I'm getting their names mixed up because of the baseball player. Pascal, but this is if he'll they just don't have the talent top to bottom. I mean, you have a couple that Siakam, the guy that was at Toronto when they won the championship with Kawhi, he could start for Boston. He could start for just about any team in the country. I mean, there's just no way around. If Halliburton's hurt, they don't have anybody else, Phil. Now they have talent, don't get me wrong, but not to match up with Boston. Boston's guard in White, Holiday, Brown, and Tatum, those 4 guards right there, those are the 4 best guards of a collection of guards on any team. I mean, they really are. And you could take Luka with Kyrie, PJ Washington, and then add whatever guards you want to in Dallas. But those 4 right there with Drew Holiday, that's still the best trade that was made all season. But the in-season trade to go get Daniel Gafford's paying off for the Mavericks.
Yeah. Would they be in this position without him?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, you're going to have Gafford's going to have to play big, Phil. This is one of those type of deals where they win it, and they got Lively, the young kid too, but they kind of switching on in and out. But they're going to have to play big if they're going to get past this Minnesota team.
So you just mentioned his name a moment ago. I think the guy you were referring to from that Yankee documentary, was it Pascual Perez?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he first 3 games they actually won 4 of their first 5 games. Pascal did like 3 games in then tore his shoulder, and I don't know if he ever ended up having surgery, then got suspended. Dave Winfield, you had all the drama going on there where
That's why Steinbrenner was suspended.
He thought he had a $15 million contract. Turns out it was a cost of living increase, and then rather admitting that he made a mistake, then they just went to battle. For
Steinbrenner had paid mafioso folks to dig up dirt on Winfield.
Couldn't find
publicly.
anything on him. Yeah,
that's right.
That's why he's an angel. That's what he did. Yeah.
Pascual Perez also threw. Every once in a while, I remember his brother Melito also pitched in the big leagues. Every once in a while, he would throw an eephus pitch. That's that little like loopy changeup that might be coming in at like maybe 35 miles an hour. Oh yeah,
he looked like he'd show you the ball and just keep his other and just show it to you just because he could, like he and then Deion Primetime Sanders comes up for a little bit. I mean, just the collection of the group of guys and the stories you hear. It's a fast 2-hour watch, 3-part series. I think you'd dig it the most.
I probably would. I think you might have sold me on it. Take a call from Jake in Russellville on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Jake. Good to hear from you. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Good to be on here. Matt, I don't know if you remember this, but your senior year, I think it was your senior year of high school, you came to Dardanelle, and Dardanelle had a really good basketball
The Sand
team.
Lizards.
The Sand Lizards. It had a 6'7" center in Stephen Latham, and you tore the rim off. I remember as a kid watching that, and then the next year, I think that was your senior year. The next year, I remember going to the Cotton Bowl when y'all played Oklahoma and freezing the whole game. It was so cold. But that is when my love, like you, Steve Four, Fred Talley, George Wilson, those guys, when I was a kid, all you guys really instilled in me the love for Razorback football. And so I appreciate that. That was some great times.
Yeah, those are some good dudes you mentioned right there.
It was some great times. And then, Phil, I had a question. I really respect you as a baseball guy, and you and Bubba do such a great job. Y'all probably talked this to death, but I haven't got a chance to listen much. What are your concerns going into a regional and a super regional with this baseball team? They've got a great record. It just doesn't seem like we've ever, throughout the season, just been 100% clicking and living up to our potential. What are your concerns? And then I'll hang up and listen, guys. God bless, and Christ is King. And just would love to hear you guys talk about the baseball team.
Okay, thank you, Jake. It's good to hear from you. If you want to get on, we got a few moments left. 877-377-6963. I mean, my concerns would be right now you don't know who to trust as far as the starting pitcher is concerned outside of Hagen Smith. It's not to say you don't have options. There are options. It's just right now, you got one pitcher that you feel has consistently been good on a week-by-week basis. So there's that. You don't have what has been a consistent run producer in the middle of the lineup, and still, I just don't think there's going to be a stabilized outfield at this point. If you've been through the regular season, you've been through Hoover. If you don't have a stabilized outfield by now, you just don't have a stabilized outfield. So those would be my main concerns. And there'd be a couple of others too, but I think they'll play more fundamentally sound than what we saw the last couple of games, which really, I mean, you saw mistakes in every aspect. There's some of the small mistakes that don't show up as errors, just tough location on 2-strike pitches, base running mistakes, not taking the extra base when the opportunity was there. Just a couple of plays in the field that should have been made, that weren't errors. Those sort of fundamentals. The value of one base. That's a thing that this team mostly has been good at this year that I didn't see them being good at the last couple of games. So those would be the main concerns I have going into this. Take a look at some of the texts here. Scott's going to his first baseball game tonight. Naturals and Sod Poodles wants to know if it's going to be rained out. I don't know. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like tonight. But I do know that if it's your first baseball game and it's rained out, don't worry. They'll have a rain check for you. Did you think your first baseball game would have a team that's named the Sod Poodles attached to it?
The Sod's an interesting breed, Phil. I'd never heard of that breed before. Poodles are inherently water dogs, so they like to swim. Sod Poodles, so grass. Okay, yeah.
Well, I didn't even know why they named him the Sod, but I think that is I think it's sort of like a nickname for. Is it a groundhog, a hedgehog, something like that? Is it an armadillo?
Totally,
something?
I was off on the whole other thing. Yeah, okay.
It's like there's another minor league team outside, I think, Huntsville, Alabama. They're called the Rocket City Trash Pandas. A trash panda, as I read, is
the mechanical thing that picks up the trash cans and throws them into the back of the dumpster, right? That's the trash panda.
It should be called that. I mean, it really should. I think it's just a raccoon just digging around in the trash.
Nocturnals. Yeah, we only play night games.
Their logo is a raccoon.
We don't play in the daylight. Yeah.
I really do like your idea of calling of the trash panda being the thing with the arms that picks the thing up. Used to be human beings were the trash pandas.
AI, that's it. AI before AI.
Oh yeah, AI trash pandas, man. That's a scary thought. Shomer Shabbos, look at you breaking that one out. Of course, it always comes into Big Lebowski. Always. It also comes down to Courtney All Hollingsworth Auto Body when you need a collision repair shop and you're looking for one that's achieved iCar Gold Class status, the highest training level in the industry. Only 15% of collision repair shops have achieved it. Courtney Hollingsworth is one of them. Put your vehicle repairs in the hands of experts. Courtney Hollingsworth Auto Body at 479-751-3801. 751-3801, also online, CourtneyHollingsworth.com. We're back to wrap up our show in just a moment.
Pitch from Bobby Pointer. Hit high in the air to deep right field. Andrew Benintendi has homered to lead off the ninth inning. A bomb into the scoreboard. Wow.
This is halftime.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC right now. Get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discount.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Would you like to look out? Sometimes I drift with my friends online, and there's things they like to change. Next thing you'll find your way back. What a shame.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Wrapping things up here. First, take a phone call from Greg in Farmington on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Happy Friday, Greg. What's up?
Hey guys, you were talking about the Trash Pandas, right?
Yeah.
I had a friend that had a chance to go see them play. Their logo is actually a raccoon in a trash can made up to be like a spaceship because it's got planes coming out of it.
Man, minor league baseball is a fun place to be, isn't it, Greg?
Oh, I mean, yeah, he brought me back a picture of the Trash Panda logo, and I'm just like, what is that? And then, and then you were mentioning the sod poodles, and I'm just like, where are they getting these names?
We got biscuits, we got jumbo shrimp, we've got yard goats, we've got Vibe. I mean, yeah,
Santa Cruz banana slugs.
Well, I mean, that's like a minor league name for a college team. I like that one. I do like banana slugs. I don't know of any like banana eaters.
That's a D2 college though. Huh? That's not a minor league baseball.
Hey, speaking of a D2 college, this is D3. This is a crazy story. Birmingham Southern College is closing. They are closing down the entire school May 31st. The last thing that could be left for this Division III school is their baseball team. Their super regional opened today against Denison University in Granville, Ohio. If Birmingham Southern were to win that super regional, the Division III World Series starts the day that Birmingham Southern closes. So they'd have a baseball team but no school playing in a College World Series. Where do you put a banner for a team that doesn't have a school that doesn't exist anymore? How do you do this?
That's like that coach was at San Francisco State out west, and they fired him, and they said, no, but you can still coach in the tournament, and he wins too. Yeah.
Well, they could at least put the banner up in the gym.
That's true.
Do they send him a ring?
Yeah.
Like they send him a ring, or do they send him a ring, or does he send them just a finger that a ring would have gone on? I think that's kind of what he did anyway. Yeah, that's just kind of wild to think about. A school has a baseball team that could play for a national championship, and they could win a national title as the school doesn't exist, with empty buildings and everything empty there. That is really wild to think about. Maybe I'll put some thought into what it would be like to try to get a university with buildings and all the buildings that go into it. How do you actually close a university? Do you sell the buildings to another school and hope somebody moves in there, or does it just turn into like a brownfield neighborhood of some sort? Kind of an odd thing to look at. All right. It's been a good Friday. It's been a weird Friday just because we didn't have a show yesterday and we only did an hour on Wednesday, so we don't have another show until Tuesday. Matt, hope you have a good long weekend.
Happy Memorial. Yes.
And by the time we reconvene, we'll know what the Fayetteville Regional looks like. We will know what seed Arkansas gets, and we'll probably have all the same concerns about the baseball team, too, because we won't have any games until then. Have a great long weekend, everybody. For Matt Jones, for the C Unit, I'm Phil. That's halftime. Now, get up, get out, and get better.